Hello, guys. Welcome back to the Three Faces in the Dark podcast. My name is Big L, and today I have the usual two guests, Joseph and Biased Opinions here. We are here to talk about the new upcoming league, the Necropolis League for Path of Exile. And I think we are very excited to come back to talk about PoE because it's really been a while since we have talked about PoE since the last league, which is Affliction. And I'll hand it to Joseph. Okay, so what do you think about the new league mechanic this time?
For the new league mechanic, I think it looks quite interesting. It's gonna be another crafting league. I mean it's better metamorph, I guess. So instead you collect more parts and then you don't have to fight a boss to get your items. And then so they were saying that there's a 64 corpse limit that you can hold, and then roughly you'll get about 3 corpse per map. So roughly 20-21 maps and you'll be full. But they haven't announced how many corpse you can bury to generate to craft your item.
Okay, yeah. I believe this is from the review video or maybe the Q&A where ZGD talked with the dev about this, but I believe that you can actually use the whole field. That means all 64 slots to make the item. The thing that I feel is that this league, the league mechanic where you craft the items is much more similar to is a combination of bestiary with a bit of metamorph feel, but you are playing with harvest mechanics because the corpse adjacent to another will benefit the effect from the corpse. So it's a bit it reminds me of how people used to plant the plants back in harvest where the seeds around the plants matters. Yeah, but I believe people will come up with ways to optimize how you craft the league eventually, like within the first 2 weeks of the gameplay. And I believe from the splash page on PoE itself, they release a few of the items that you can actually get from the league mechanic itself. I've seen a power charge helm that is totally not influenced. So what this means is you can actually lock it and corrupt for a double power charge helm. This league, right? Yeah. And I believe this league, there is actually a trend for a GG to go into borrowed power for these few leagues that we have been playing. Like for Affliction, the borrowed power is Charms, Tinctures, right? And the Blood Magic Ascendancy. But this league seems like the borrowed power is from the crafting from the corpse. So I believe people should try out crafting even if you are not really good at it. Like you only buy gear, but try to craft something. I think it's going to be very interesting. So how about Bias? So what's your view on this league mechanics?
Actually, I think there's one part of the league that's very interesting is the fact that they tell us what mobs are in each area. And I think that's quite interesting. For people who are quite used to the game, it doesn't really matter. But I think for people who are new to the game, it might be interesting for them to realize that the tentacle miscreations or the tentacle miscreants are actually good to remove, or like what they actually do. One thing that I'm not too sure is the league mechanic skippable, this league?
No, I don't think the league mechanic is skippable, and I think this might pose a problem. Like people might get frustrated that for every map that they go in or for everything that they do, they have to interact with the lantern. So I'm not sure if that is something that people will complain about within the first week. Yeah,
Oh,
but
you can't just press the area thing.
I mean you can just press, but you technically if your build is at a good place where you can deal with the monsters without changing around the buff, then I think it's fine. But generally, people who are playing PoE, when they want to min max, they would definitely want to find the good buff, like the devoted buff. They want to put it on monsters that have higher pack size. So there you have it. Like, there is a way to min max this, and then there will also be a portion of players that don't give a shit about this. So they would just open the map, see that nothing's too threatening, and they will just go.
Oh, I actually assume that if you don't click on the lamp, if you don't click on the lamp, the leak mechanic won't proc. So I guess it's that as long as you go to a new area, the leak mechanic procs.
I think they make it so that you cannot skip it. I think they mention it.
Also, right, one thing that's interesting is I don't see the lamp near the map device. Have they shown that yet?
The lamp will appear the moment you open the map. So they were saying that once you open the map and interact with the lantern, you cannot take the map out. You have to run it.
Ah, I see. That's quite interesting. Oh, unskippable leap mechanic sounds like potentially bad things happening.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to prepare yourself to die a lot of times within the first week. I think monsters will be tend to be overtuned. That has what we have been seeing for the past few leagues. So, I mean, if people are generally well equipped with that knowledge, they will be fine. But if people are new into the game, just know that it's okay to die. Yeah, that's how I see it.
Yeah, I think it also means that this league start at least might reward stronger characters than usual rather than movement speed.
Okay, mentioning about stronger characters, I think it's also a good time for us to talk about some of the new changes to the gems. GG actually provided the whole list of gems that they are changing this league plus the new gems. So any interesting gems that you guys have seen within the page itself?
Tornado.
So what about Tornado that is exciting for you?
I mean, now you can have up to 3 instead of 1, and you can use the prismatic jewels to block them. It's basically like alley hit and I can't remember. Oh yeah, wow strike.
I think the Tornado is actually a decent gem. I think quite a few of the content creators have already talked about this, but I think we can add our own flavor to it. It is primarily a spell that is quite good if you don't have cast speed, because it attacks at a fixed rate. So there isn't a need for you to scale too hard into cast speed, but at the same time you also want some cast speed to make your build feel fluid enough to play, because the cast time for Tornado is actually quite long. It's at 0.75. Yeah, so at least you want to make your casting smooth enough, but you don't have to go into like try hard territory to make the build feel good. Yeah. And I believe people are cooking up a lot of ways to get the gem to be like level 30 or something. Like you use Infernal Mentor, Replica, Cold Iron Point, things to buff the skill up, right? There's a lot of ways. Are you going to talk about this? Like, do you want the league start this? If not, then we move on to some other gems.
Yeah, let's move on. It's just a meme.
Okay, so how about Bias? Do you see any interesting gems that you want to talk about?
I have a boring one. It's got Absolution of Inspiring.
Yeah, so what about it?
Well, I was hoping it would be good. Spent like half a day trying to POV something out, like an Absolution of Inspiring totem. Shockwave Totem is still better, guys. For now. I think if I use other ways to scale the minion damage, such as like what Matthew did, increase minion damage when casting. If you have cast a minion skill recently, I think there's a shot, but I think it's way more it's way more complicated to scale. Unless you know what you're doing already.
Okay, but this spell has its own thing going on. It's just a buff, right? I think among the newer gems that has been released, I think the most interesting one is the Incinerate, the one that has 10 stages or 12 stages. Incinerate of no, the other one. Incinerate of Venting, yeah. This one is the one that people have been talking about.
Yeah, they changed to 14 stages.
14 stages, yeah, because you can actually, for each stage, the damage is ramping up. So it's a bit like what you would expect from Penance Brand, but self-cast and channeling. So I think people might Leaguestart this. It is okay to Leaguestart. It's just that you have to deal with the stationary gameplay.
Actually,
yeah.
This looks really good if it's on totems, alright?
Yeah, it is. Totems, then you really have to scale your cast speed and crit. But I can see people playing EO with this as well. It's generally quite. It's just a generic good gem. Yeah.
I think still, hand casting this might be a bit annoying. I think if you have totems, it might be a good boss killer or something like that. Because from what I understand, Incinerate is not a very strong mapper.
We have to see because the increase anger up to 300%. We don't really know how big the skill is going to be, right? We might have to try in game to know. Then
360.
Not very sure, right? Any buff and nerf that you guys want to highlight? I think let me just talk about the poisonous concoction of bouncing, right? Because from the release video that they announced, it used to be from the review video, you can actually see that the poisonous concoction of bouncing actually requires only 6 charges to use, and it gave and the line where they say that added chaos equals to flash recovery, it was at 30%. So when they presented the gem info today, they have double nerfed the skill. They increases the charges that you actually need, and while at the same time they halve the added damage that you get from the flash recovery. So to be honest, when I saw this, I knew straight away this skill is not worth to play. Because the normal poisonous concoction is already difficult to sustain. So poisonous concoction of bouncing is just 1 charge lesser, because generally Picong is being played with greater volley and GMP. So you have 9 charges versus 8. And I don't see how this is any better than the normal Picong.
Yeah, actually looks quite painful though. So every time you throw this, the whole life flask disappears, is it?
No, you consume 8 charges, assuming you do not have any reduced cost of flask cost.
But this is per projectile fired from 1 life flask, right?
Yeah, because you can only you at any point of time you only have 1 flask flying out, because you look at the second line of the skill. Modifiers to number of projectiles applies to the number of time that it changes. So it will always throw 1 out. But for every projectile that you add, like if you add a GMP, this skill will change six times.
Oh, so this only uses 8.
Yeah.
Then the normal poisonous concoction?
Normal poisonous concoction depends on how many projectile you can throw out. And for every projectile you throw out is 1 flask charge.
Oh, that 8 kind of sucks. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's why to me the gem is dead on arrival. Don't even bother to play this. The more the better gems that has been released this patch, I think it's the Incinerate of Venting, the Tornado of Turbulence, and I really like Elemental Hit of Spectrum. The third one, the third green gem. Yeah. It made it so that the Elemental Hit actually releases all 3 damage types straight away. It is a very cool attack to build around, I feel. And it actually makes Inquisitor Wander kind of a thing now. Yeah, because you can do all 3 damage at the same time.
How much is this? How much more damage is this? Compared to Elemental Hit?
It really depends on how you play the Elemental Hit, because if you play Elemental Hit that only choose fire and you do the conversion with Avatar of Fire, I think the damage top end will win this gem. Right, but this gem has the scaling of all 3 elements.
Oh no, I meant like when you combine all the damage of all 3 elements, like how much more damage is this compared to the double combat focus Elemental Hit?
I think this gem cannot win though.
Oh, so little. Okay.
Yeah, this gem, because if you add up everything together, the top end is only 1,000, and the bottom end is about 250. So 250 to 1,000, you are looking at about 750 flat damage. Fire converted normal Elemental Hit top end, I think, is 2,000.
Oh, there goes my excitement for this.
But I think it's a cool concept. I want them to kind of explore more on how you can play with this, because this one actually makes me want to go things like Elemental Hit, Prismatic Burst, Saboteur, or you can play Inquisitor. It's quite a cool thing to play around, and the fact that you can actually this gem, because it applies, you can actually hit with all 3 elements. You can apply all 3 ailments at the same time. So the 45%, you can get 45% more ailment almost always. Yeah, whereas if you are playing the Converter Elemental Hit, generally you only have fire, unless you play things like Skitterbots. Then you really have to have the Skitterbots walk towards the enemy to have the other 2 ailments. Yeah. Okay, any more gems that we want to talk about, or any more gems you guys want to shit about?
Sacred Wisps. Sacred Wisps looks cool. 50% more. Come on, guys.
Yeah, and you can use it with your Ellie hit.
Ellie Hit gives the ailment, then can already.
I think if you want to play Ellie Hit, it's quite a decent way to Leaguestart with Piscatus. So you can actually use Piscatus, play Ellie Hit. Generally, you should be having a normal, quite good chance to play the game, maybe up to like yellow to early red maps. If not, it might be a bit difficult to play around, because I think Ellie Hit is almost always played with a bow, but people tend to forget that you can actually use wands to play Ellie Hit as well. And with Ellie Hit, it actually has a lot of good stats that you can combo with Ellie Hit. Yeah.
Necropolis used to be my favorite budget Ellie Hit, especially when Ellie Hit was actually good.
It has very high crit rate, so you would definitely want to go crit with it. So you can actually play this with like COC also. Why not, right? I think can we go back to the gems page? Yeah. I think other than that, the new gems don't really excite us. Yeah, the removal of the left mouse thing kind of affect you? Because it doesn't really affect me.
Nope, doesn't affect at all.
It affects me because I play with the gamepad. So now I can actually use the automation.
Okay. So it kind of affected you in a good way, right?
Well, I think the biggest buff, right, is that they added the portal scroll to a button.
That's big. That's big. Okay. Yeah.
They could even buff it bigger by removing portal scroll and just binding the portal to your button.
That would be a nerf because we would no longer feel the weight.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So let's go down. Maybe I'll just name a few. We can just scroll down the gems page. I do understand why they nerf Ensanguinate of Transmission. It was shit to begin with, but they nerf it even further. Yeah. So I don't really get why they are doing this, but I mean it's fine because the old one has like 21 chains, whereas the new one has 10 chains. I don't know what made them to think that it's a good idea to take off so many chains. Like it kind of make the skill a bit irrelevant, right? I think most of the others nothing much. Shield Crush is interesting because they remove the whole closer target thing. You basically make the central wave much bigger, so that's cool. Okay, personal favorite skill of mine, Blade Blast of Dagger Detonation. They finally realized that the skill sucks, so they have to buff it up. Yeah, you can show how much they buff, right? It used to be 580 or something. Yeah, it used to be 580. So now it's like 675% of the dagger. Right. So you literally times 6 from a times 6 to a times 7. So it's like a free battle mage. so I feel like it is something that we should take note of. Okay. Blade Flurry, nothing much. Okay, as a very enthusiastic fan of Trap's playstyle, I don't know why they nerf Explosive Trap of Shrapnel. Explosive Trap of Shrapnel wasn't even like the strongest skill, but they found a need to nerf the radius. I think it's still rather strong. It's just not as strong as it used to be, where you can explode the whole map. So I can see why they nerf it, but there are better skills to nerf though. Yeah.
Like DD.
Yeah, I believe the only reason why they don't want to nerf DD is because it's a fan favorite blast that to be honest, I think Detonate Date has a very obvious ceiling, and it seems like GG are nerfing the potential of the gems, but not. Yeah, because there is a very once your gear hit a certain stage, Detonate Date is not strong. It has a cap because it is built around Corpse HP, right? Whereas things like Tornado Shot, that one has infinite scaling, right? Yeah. I like that they actually did some of the triple deep nerfs on projectile skills. Sniper Smart got nerf, right? And what it implicates is the Splitting Steel got nerf also. And coupled with some of the patch note changes where they mentioned that boss units cannot be found from stack decks, Nimis is going to be a very rare drop next league. And Splitting Steel, which relies on Nimis, is going to be so hard to play next league, right? I mean, yeah, then now we are at Tornado Shot. Tornado Shot has always, it requires a nerf, to be honest. I mean, it's still going to be one of the best skills, to be honest. If you have the money, Tornado Shot is not a problem. Yeah.
Skirt Arrow of Menace also got nerfed by one projectile as well.
To be honest, I don't think it affects because Scourge Arrow of the Menace was clearing quite well already. So, and to be honest, you can also compensate it with just a Quiver Corruption or something on the tree. You are fine. But people crying about Tornado Shot don't really know how to play PoE, I feel. okay, one big change to Frostblink of Wintry Blast, no more Poet's Pen abuse. You cannot actually trigger the skill now. Or if you want, you could, but you have to deal with the cast speed being added to the cooldown. Right. Now, and I totally believe that they made this change so that you don't burn their servers, yeah. Probably so. Okay. Did anyone see this coming about kinetic bolt or fragmentation? This skill is busted from the get-go. How can they let something that can only be found on Battle Mage Cry or Crown of Ice to be in a gem? I don't get it. And it's at a 2.5 efficiency. It doesn't even make sense.
To be fair, right? None of us here played it. And we didn't actually think it was that strong when it on.
No. I always know that it's strong. It's just that Kinetic Bolt got a very weird targeting. And because I used to play Wonders a lot, I like Wonders, but they changed something about Power Siphon. And it isn't the skill that it used to be. And Kinetic Bolt became the replacement for that. And for Kinetic Bolt or Fragmentation to actually you play with the mindset to abuse, you have to use Nimis again. Almost all projectile builds these few legs has been trying to abuse the ring. So I don't really like how they play this. And which is why the reason why we never really touch the gem or
Gotta play Jungron for everything. Or Jungron's fault.
I think maybe there's a argument in GG where they kind of regret that they let them make Nimis a ring. Okay, Penance Brand of the Dissipation. I fully agree with the nerf because it's just overpowered. But there was something changed about can you hover over the gem? Yeah. I think they added this line where energy is removed from the enemy when the brand is detached or when it explodes, right? I don't know how it affects the current PB, but I'm not sure if this is new behavior. So to be honest, I would say that if you are thinking to play Penance Brand next league, it's a good idea to see how people play first. Then if the behavior is still the same as the current league, then you can go into it playing. But if the behavior changes, then don't play Penance Brand. Yeah. And maybe go down the list. You will see that GG triple nerf Storm Brand also. Storm Brand of Indecision. The change is so drastic that I believe they only nerf this because they know that people who played Penance Brand of Dissipation will all come to Storm Brand of Indecision. So to not allow people to do that kind of maneuver, they nerf both. So you really only just don't play brands.
Holy shit, this is a quadruple nerf. This is like, they didn't double tap this, they quadruple tap this.
Like, can you imagine Penance Brand being the outlier, but they nerf Storm Brand more? It's like they really hated Storm Brand. So I don't really know what's going on. Right?
I mean, to be fair, they probably actually hate Storm Brand because there was a period of time where everybody did nothing but play Storm Brand.
But is there a reason to double the whole cast time? I don't really get. Okay, you can nerf the damage effectiveness, you can nerf the raw damage, but doubling the cast time, right, is basically making the skill dead. Which I don't get because okay, then some people might see, oh, but you can scale it some other ways. How you want to scale? You want to, like, if you have 200 cast speed now, you want to get the damage to where it is, you have to invest 400% cast speed now instead of 200. It doesn't even make sense.
It does make sense. They don't want people to play the gem.
Yeah. So like the only conclusion that I can see is maybe they don't want the Penance Brand abusers to come and play Storm Brand. So they double nerf both. Yeah.
Void Sphere of Rending got a buff. We can play Poison. Void Sphere of Rending.
It converts everything to chaos. Or what?
I think 50%. Oh no, it's
40%.
even 40%.
There's a mastery to convert the next for 40 also. But the duration is 2 seconds. It pulses 0.3. So for every cast of the rending, you get how many procs? 7 procs.
Yeah, about there.
Sounds quite bad. But you might as well play the new Tornado. You can have 3. Right. Okay, any more comments on what you want to talk about the gems? Or is there any form of bait that we never highlighted?
The one true bit, Archmage support.
I think the Archmage is in a the newly changed Archmage is actually quite good for how people wants to play the build. It's just that people are quite jaded on how they nerf mana cost now because the flask mod is gone. Where else? Where else did jewels? There's no more mana cost jewels really. Yeah, so you really have to find, like, you have to look at your rings, your amulet, see whether you have space to craft percent reduced mana cost, or you use the Aziri helmet, the Vertex. Vertex have 50% reduced cost if you are intending to use Divine Blessing. So it's kind of like a free Divine Blessing, yeah. So I mean there are ways to go about it. It's just that, yeah. I believe quite a lot of content creators wanted to Leaguestart Archmage, and I do get why they want to do this, because the whole ascendancy, no, the whole archetype can actually be, is quite solo self-found friendly. There's no rare gear. Yeah, Claw of Defiance is T2, I believe. Foible is also a T2 unit, so it's not too difficult to farm. Yeah.
Well, there's also ascendancy changes. Do you want to talk about that? The Necromancer.
Oh, yeah.
The Necromancer, at least, okay, so I'm the only one who plays Necromancer in this room. So the Necromancer got Leech and also changed to one of its keystones that lets your minions have Unholy Might right now. And they changed how Unholy Might works. So how Unholy Might works now is that it gives you 100% conversion of physical to chaos, and it also gives you a 25% chance to wither. So poison, anything physical back then, probably got buffed if you want to play poison. So one thing that was brought up was skeleton archers. I think Carrion and Stone Golems is playable, even though I think Elementalist is the better one. But the problem with playing Elementalist is unless you have the Forbidden Flesh or for the Forbidden Flame thing, you're not going to get Leech off your minions. And I think Leech off your minions is the best thing since Sliced Bread. This common is going to age like milk, I swear.
Okay. Then I would like to add on, right? Did they go back on the SRS nerf? Because on the gem page, right, the new updated gem, there's no SRS. In the patch note, they removed the more damage, right? But here they didn't show. So did they?
I think okay. Let's be real here. I think GG is serious with nerf. Anytime that they have not mentioned anything, just prepare for the worst. Yeah,
There's
because
no way it's not nerfed.
it's not going to be like, guys, we're gonna walk back on this decision that we consciously make because SRS is over the top. Let's be honest.
Yeah, there's no way in hell SRS is surviving in the league. I'm quite surprised they didn't change stuff like I mean Detonate Date is one of those. But Toxic Rain, I'm quite surprised people didn't they didn't touch it.
Oh, okay. My opinion that I've briefly stated just now is that I think GG likes to nerf top end builds. The only reason they never touch Detonate Date is because Detonate Date is, I think, it's a very good league starter build, but the ceiling is very obvious because once you get your gear to even mirror tier Detonate Date builds cannot beat a decently built tornado shot. That's the thing.
My argument against that, right, is that the last few leagues, right, they nerfed every build that was strong on Gauntlet.
Oh, but Gauntlet is for racing. Okay, I think they will. Gauntlet has conditions that make league certain skills harder to play, right? But to be honest, Detonate Date is just so strong for league starting, even for Gauntlets, that I think most people would just recognize, oh, if you're not playing DD, you might as well just don't start the Gauntlet, right? Whereas for league start, right, for so many league starts, right, when they actually touch on skill buff and nerfs, it seems to me like they only like to touch those that is top end they are very much the outliers in the top end.
Yeah, but they did nerf builds that did well in the Gauntlet also, and weren't really top end.
Such
I
as
can't think of one right now actually.
yeah.
Volatile did, I know it was nerfed because of that.
Oh, I think you can call it a nerf, but I think it's reasonable to let the boss just get caught instead of explode.
No, I
It
mean
doesn't make
before
sense.
that. Before this.
Oh,
As in like league before that, because Volatile that used to be a very popular league starter. Then afterwards they nerfed it.
huh, really?
Yeah.
But VD has always been a 2-button kind of build. So my opinion is that GG don't like to nerf 2-button builds.
No. They nerf Frostbolt, Frost Nova.
Huh?
Frostbolt and Frost Nova is no longer meta.
Ice Nova is nerf since when? No,
I think some donkey years ago.
No. They only changed the gems because now it's a transfigured version, right?
No. They nerfed it out of meta for a few leagues.
Really?
Yeah.
From what I
Because
understand is that
because if you think about it, most of the 2-button skills are now out of meta. I know they nerf Blade Blast because it was really strong.
Okay.
Yeah. Then Frostbolt, Frost Nova, I think it got nerfed. Then the next league, the mana trigger cost killed the entire archetype. Because people were actually triggering it. And the trigger doubled the triggers, I think. So with the nerf to the mana cost of triggers, it killed that. It killed that one also.
Really, man? Because my understanding of Frostbolt Ice Nova is that people used to play in Legion, they would just pop one Ice Nova and the whole Legion breaks. So that was very long ago. And subsequently, why people don't want to play that build is because I think they did a lot of changes with Pledge of Hands. It used to be a common drop, then it became something that is only from Aziri. And people keep trying to know where to farm this stuff. It's not easy to farm. And eventually they nerfed the whole stuff. Right. And which is why I think there was a low pickup on this build. Yeah. Then I'm not sure if they really nerfed the skill because I used to play one league purely on this. I thought the damage was fine. Yeah. It's just that okay, but bringing back to the current meta, seems like GG don't really touch 2-button skills because there is a cost to it because you literally have to try hard to play.
I mean, I agree with you. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But there's no 2-button skills that's meta right now.
DD,
Only DD. Yeah, right. Everyone else has been deleted from the.
Yeah. I mean, last time you still have Essence Drain, Contagion, then Frostbolt. Ice Nova is a thing. There was a period where people like to play Frostbolt Vortex. That is a thing also. Yeah, but yeah, I do see that these are the build types that maybe they wouldn't nerf it that much. Yeah. Okay, but my point still stands that I think they don't like to nerf like the reason they never nerf DD is because the ceiling very obvious. Yeah, because for the same amount of money that you put into a mirror tier TS, you put a mirror tier DD, right? The mirror tier DD is going to perform almost similar to someone that put 50 define into a DD character. And if the skill performs like this, there's no reason to nerf the top end. That's how I see it, because a mirror tier TS and a 50 divine tier TS is very different.
There's also another case of GGG nerfing this, but I think we should stop the conversation. But GGG nerfed minions because it was too easy to start also.
Oh yeah, I remember that there was a league. Everybody was playing scaly mages and stuff. Okay. To be honest, I think minions. We should maybe do it in another episode where we can deep delve into why minions were powerful back then and not now, right? I mean, at that point we can also start to talk about the new Spectre helm that they talk about, right? Because now you can have like 11 Spectres or 12 Spectres, something like that. Okay, I think we should move on. Let's go into the starter builds. Can I have about 2 to 3 builds that you guys are thinking about and what you will start? Maybe we'll start with Joseph first.
The most probable one would be Ice Spear or Ice Spear and Freezing Pulse Daughter.
I tell you, Freezing Pulse Totem very painful. I warn you first. Ice Spear, not bad. Oh, and Replica Dragon's Flight. You might be able to get some of them quite cheap for Ice Spear. Freezing Pulse Totems, not fun.
Just that one, or do you have any other considerations? Like what else do you want to play, assuming you want to play that build? I mean, it's always good to have a backup, right?
Let me think about it.
Okay, we can go to bias while Joseph think of like another build that he has a backup for a build choice. So bias, yeah.
Yeah. So thanks to the POV from Big L, Shockwave Totems is one of them because Astro Projector is very cheap and not many people are listening to our podcast. So Astro Projector will probably remain cheap. If you guys actually need an actual recommendation for League Starter, I really recommend Shockwave Totems because it's a very strong build and Astro Projector is very cheap now. And nobody listens to the podcast. But with the new leech to added to minions for the Necromancer, and I realized I don't actually like tankiness. I like insane recovery, which is why I like Defiance of Destiny. I probably might play Necromancer so that I can watch anime while playing Path of Exile. That's the dream. Probably gonna use Petrified Blood so I have infinite Slayer Leech while having more efficiency on my life. Hopefully the new Ascendancy changes for the Necromancer is good. What about you, Big L?
So I've been league starting the past few leagues with Templar, so I'm sick of playing Templar already. This league I'm actually looking at league starting one of my old time favorite. I'm gonna league start a Shadow, so I have a few build ideas that I want to play. The first one is definitely by now everybody already knows Hex Blast Mines, but my take on Hex Blast Mines is that without gear, everybody should actually start Hex Blast Poison Mines. People shouldn't do hit base Hex Blast, because hit base you actually have to deal with the low crit rate of the spell. You really only want to play hit base when you have the Sandstorm Visage, which is a Sanctum unit. It's not easy to get it within the first week, but if you do get it, then I think it's worth to play. So I'm currently thinking of Hex Blast Poison Mines. I should be playing should I believe the best ascendancy to play should be the Assassin, and maybe if you got gear, you can play Trickster. Then that's just one of the builds that I'm thinking to play. I'm also looking at Blade 4 Poison Mines. It's a bit weird there because Blade 4 hasn't been really that good for so many leagues already. Blade 4 has just been a mechanic that people use because they want to play Blade Blast. So if you realize there is a transfigured version of Blade 4, which is the transfigured version or Blade 4 of Impaling. That spell has 10% base crit. So if you want to build into like Perfect Agony Poison, it's actually quite viable. So I'm looking at that because the Shadow Start has a decent start for those skills that use poison physical damage to poison, because just the 3 branching out you have like 100% increase damage, which is quite hard to come by these days. Then yeah, so currently it's Hex Blast Poison, Blade 4 Poison. Then I'm also looking at just one more build. I'm looking at maybe doing Explosive Trap of Magnitude or Shrapnel. It really depends on what I get from the lab itself. If I do get Shrapnel, then I'll lean into maybe a crit Saboteur or a crit Trickster. If I get Magnitude, I'll be playing Poison. And the way to play Poison on Explosive Trap of Magnitude is to use it with a Bloodstream Mine, because you don't have to deal with the less throwing speed. You can just use mine throwing speed to overcome the less trap throwing speed. But it's gonna be a very awkward play style because you don't actually aim. You let the mines aim for you. So it may be a very awkward mapper, but a very good bosser. Yeah, that's my current plan, to play around the gems that I get within from lab itself, because I don't think I want to spend a lot of currency to buy the gems that I want to Leaguestart with. We have to see what the meta does. Then I usually try to avoid the meta, and I'll try to farm the Mage Blood within the first 2 weeks. That's the plan.
Okay, so talking about Mage Blood, right? I want to whine about Pathfinder nerf, because I've been starting Pathfinder for the past few leagues. So the triple alley flask got nerfed. So there goes all your less damage taken. Now they have given back the flask max rest. I guess it's easier for people to go melding now. But the less damage taken with plus effectiveness is too good. Yeah, so basically not dying is good. So
All right. So actually, my opinion is that it actually affects the top end of the Mage Blood players, to be honest. But I understand that people who have started Pathfinder for a long time, they are also quite reliant on the less damage taken from the flask. So it's a big L there, but I do get it. But I do get why they do the changes. And I really appreciate that they actually try to bring back the max stress. It means like it's going to just having a ruby flask with purity of fire, or any elemental flask with their respective purities, will probably get you to melting cap. Yeah. So it's easier to get to melting cap this league than ever, to be honest. So and the fact that tattoo is back, so I think there's also a lot of build that has been maybe not considering tattoo as a league mechanic to build around, can start to think about, oh, I can use a few tattoos here and there to get some of the proc chance or something.
Well, the tattoos are heavily nerfed though. Like, I was excited the tattoos were back for a while. Then I read the patch notes and I'm like, these aren't even tattoos, bro. These are like stolen stat points.
Okay, but would you trade 10 decks for 2% suppress?
Isn't there a note for this?
Mage Bane, but Mage Bane makes your decks not affect evasion, right? But now you can convert the. I'm surprised they actually let the spell suppression tattoo come back, because that one's actually how you kept the last, maybe the last 10 suppress. You want it, but you can just convert some of the dex notes that you have extra. As yeah.
Okay, true. I think got some flask ones also. Or that one might be better also.
Okay. Any more things you want to take a dig at the patch notes? Because I'm still quite okay with the patch notes. I'm not really bitter about anything.
Oh, I also would like to play Stormburst Totems,
Okay.
but we'll see how. It's either that or the Ice Spear Freezing Fast Totems.
Joseph, what happened to you? Am I talking to Tatian Tiao now?
I mean, like, that is what the Pathfinder, the Flask nerf did to Joseph, right? The Ancestral League, he was full on Raider Tota, just full on abuse, right? Then now he has been beaten down. He's playing Totems now, like we didn't know how much of a change that a game can bring to our friend.
Yeah, I would also like to play Divine Iron Totems.
Just change your name to Tatian Tiao, bruh.
Okay. Let's go move on to the next. I think we will also maybe take a look at some of the changes to the whole M game itself. So just so you know that the current the next league, from the next league onwards, there's no more Sexton. So people who have been relying on selling Sextons to get money, they have to learn how to play the game. Then almost all the Sexton mods has been converted into Scarabs now. So there's so many new Scarabs these days that I don't even know what to really use. And by the way, for the 5th slot in your map device, you actually have to do the T17 maps to unlock. You don't need to do the Legion already. So that's quite cool. Yeah, we have just pulled up the web page on the newly released Scarab list, and I think everybody can be very excited for the content that they like to farm. Maybe we start with Bias. What Scarabs are you currently looking at?
Actually, not much. Oh yeah, the Blight one looks really good. So the Blight one, they have one that gives you the unique boss, and now your Blighted maps would drop as Blight Ravage maps instead. This is actually quite big because Blight Ravage maps is where the money is. Yep. There's also Black Oils found one tier higher. Like just talking about this makes me want to feel like it makes me feel like playing Shockwave Totems. And yeah. Yeah, it looks way better than the other Blight ones, honestly speaking. And actually I think I'm quite excited about the changes to masters also, but I think I'm getting ahead of myself.
So about Joseph, have you taken a look at what Scarabs makes you think you want to farm?
The reliquary scarab that gives you the nameless seer. I hope he'll give me a mage blood.
Okay. Just that or what? So you'll be trying to buy this and fishing for the nameless here for that particular drop or what?
So if I were to do that, right, that means I will also have to run a map that is at least level 80, right? Or because the like for the apothecary cards, they will only start dropping at 75. Ah, so okay. So actually, 75 is not that difficult. Yeah.
Actually, I like to go again. I apologize. I just saw one that I was actually quite excited about. So, I was the one who made the shot about expedition and having that big nuclear blast. And I just found out the silver one gives you 100% increase number of runic monster markers. This is actually pretty good because if you don't really farm expedition, runic monsters are where logbooks are from, and logbooks are where expedition money is from. It's not really from the modifiers. So when Expedition League first came out, everybody got trapped by that. We never noticed that actually it was the runic monsters that gave us the logbooks. This means, theoretically speaking, possibly you could be doubling your logbooks. That's pretty insane.
You can put 2 of that, so 200% increase.
Yeah. This is actually pretty juicy, guys.
Can you combo this with the essence one? So all the runic rare are essence.
Oh my god.
Can you mouse over the one?
Oh yeah. That one is actually quite juicy. This one. So all rare monsters in an area are imprisoned by essences. This is actually pretty interesting.
Wait. If it's like that rare monsters, right? Wouldn't you consider Legion as rare monsters also? Legion
think
actual are all rare monsters, no?
I think if you spawn the monsters, it shouldn't work. So I don't think expedition will work. But since Joseph brought it up, this is actually one of the more unique ones. I think if you juice the map up with like some of the stuff like that we saw, all monsters at least magical, and like maybe there's like increased rare monsters, mods, etc. I think this might actually be quite juicy.
It means, right, actually, if you do it with Beyond, right, Beyond so many rare monsters, right, I think can. But Beyond is a spawn.
Yeah, Beyond spawns.
How about
So
Incursion? Incursion is not. Incursion is in the map itself, but it is already pre-spawn already.
I've never seen essences in an incursion though.
That's the thing. It's so new that we don't really know, right?
I highly doubt it, honestly speaking. I would rather guess that
It's not.
yeah, it's not, and that it's only the mobs that are spawned on the map.
Do you know what this essence actually invalidates the memories, the Einhar memories that give the essence? Because that one for every map you have like 3 to 4 road exiles, and they are the first maps that you do, right, is going to be some shit essence. But once you do until like the 3rd, 4th map, is all screaming, shrieking already. So this one scarab itself can actually win. So you actually don't have to run like 4 maps just to get good essences.
Oh right, actually right, since we are talking about essences, quick update. Essences got nerfed in white maps.
Yeah, so for people that have been farming white maps, currently, so after the new patch, white maps can only spawn essences up to the screaming tier. That means even if you use the remnant, it can only become shrieking, so it's not really that good. And then for monsters in yellow or red maps, the monsters can spawn up to shrieking, so you can still corrupt them into deafening. So if you are into low tier map farming, you have to start doing it at tier 6 and above.
Would Essence Scarab of Ascent undo this nerf?
Actually, I'm not sure, because what they said in the patch note was determined, like it seems deterministic that it's always going to be kept at screaming. So I believe what this does is it used this particular mod used to be a Atlas passive, where if it's going to spawn a screaming, it's gonna be spawned as a shrieking. If it's going to be spawned as a weeping, it's gonna go into the next tier. So basically, it plus one from all the way down up. But if the cat is screaming, it's always gonna stop at screaming. Yeah.
Wait, so you also mentioned if it's yellow map farming, it's not affected anymore. It's as
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same. It's the same as currently. So for people who have been doing white maps, now you just have to upgrade to doing yellows. So instead of doing tier 1, you have to do T6 lah. At least T6. But if you are using scarabs, I think just do it at a higher tier lah. It's fine. Yeah. I think the one that actually excites me is incursion. Let me go up to incursion. The highest one. Yeah. So now the final architect in the area will drop a itemized temple. This is actually so broken because you can actually generate a lot of temples out, and if you are farming temple uniques or temple rares, this is actually one of the best scarabs to use. It's a bit of gambling here and there, but I see that because of the gambling nature, I think this scarab is going to be affordable, and people generally don't like to gamble. So I mean, every now and then you might gamble out a gem room, a corruption room. I think it's cool. The subsequent lower tiers are all very strong, especially this one. Incursion areas have 35 chance for all monsters to be at least magic. This used to be a notable in the Atlas tree. But now you can. The main part is the second line, which incursions in the area have 15% increased pack size. And with 2 of these, you can have 30% increased pack size, which is very big. And I think this is one of the best way to farm cluster jewels, to be honest. You can actually increase the pack size so that everything becomes magic. And if you are using the Delirium Fog notable, all magic monsters drop +1. So you can actually farm item level 84 cluster jewels from incursion quite reliably, I think.
Speaking of Delirium, this is probably the first league where we get Delirium Scarabs, and I think that's quite interesting. Before that, you could only proc Delirium off Sextons or the maps, but we have Delirium Scarabs now.
Okay, the last scarabs for Delirium is actually so broken that I think people might not realize how crazy this is. Having layers of Delirium means the moment you go in, right, there is already reward for you to take really. That means the moment you go in, you complete one layer, right, it will drop, like depending on how many icons you proc. Yeah, so it's actually a very strong. I think this league everybody's gonna choose the Delirium in their maps, in combo with any other mechanics that they are doing already.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Actually, a few content creators were talking about how like there's no more tiers to the scarabs. I mean, I don't think that is exactly true. Like, as in, it doesn't say wing scarab or stuff like that. But honestly speaking, you can tell from the effects and the the effect. Some scarabs are actually better than others, and also you can tell from the art that it's probably going to be expensive. Yeah.
I think the joy in PoE is to at least for me is to identify some of the gaps in the game where people are not farming for money, and for that you can actually make a killing and earn a lot of money from the game.
Yeah, like ultimatum. Ultimatum really good for catalysts. I actually planned to make a video for it, but in the end I didn't. I'm not sure why. But ultimatum catalyst expensive, and ultimatum scarab strong, and Slayer good for ultimatum Leaguestart.
Okay, I think currently ultimatum people seems to have the idea that ultimatum is the only way to get catalyst, but there's another way, which is heist. And surprisingly, heist is the only mechanic that doesn't have a scarab. So yeah, it doesn't have because the only way that you're gonna proc any kind of scarabs for it is for the maps to spawn more cash, and it doesn't really make sense to have scarab. I feel, but haven't looked at heist LS3, but I believe most mechanics in the new patch is able to get to 100%. I'm not sure if you can get 100% smuggler's cash. Yeah.
As in GGG removed the tiering. It's just that now that you cannot like simply upgrade the. Yeah, it used to be like rusted to polish to gilded to wing. Oh, I see. You can upgrade to wing.
Right, actually, that's pretty good for people like me, because what I do or what I did is that I used to buy 100 rusted scarabs or something. Then I think rusted scarabs would be way cheaper now compared to last time. Because like last time you could upgrade them through the rusted ones. And sometimes when I wanted to buy the rusted ones, they were the same price as the silver one. Yeah, the polished ones. So I went to buy the polished ones also. But I think, yeah, this might actually be really good for me.
I think that there's a lot to be explored in the league itself, like how you want to choose your maps. Like I think people who are used to farming Crimson Temple, they would want to look at Delirium with the ambush scarabs. Yeah. Now bias is like crazy over some of the horn scarabs. We were having a conversation just now about how horn scarabs are actually broken, but I think it took buyers a while to look at the horn scarabs. Yeah, horn scarabs are really the new addition of this league. It has some of the craziest things that we have seen, because some of these modifiers on such scarabs, I don't think I've seen it on sextons. It's something new.
Bro, this preservation shit is like triple of any of the top tier scarabs that we saw before.
Yeah.
And the top tier scarabs that we saw were insane.
The problem with this one is that it used to be notable on the Atlas tree, but there was a chance to proc it. Yeah. And there was last time there was a way to cheese it, alright, because you can actually use harvest juice to permanently sustain the sexton. The whole cycle. Yeah. There was that kind of play. I'm not sure if this round there will be such abuse, but definitely a good thing to see. Maybe the horn scarab is a betrayer specific unique scarabs. I don't think horn scarabs can drop normally. It doesn't make sense. It should be like linked to betrayal or something.
Actually, the betrayal changes might, and together with the master changes, might actually make like farming the master stuff quite interesting. Masters would be June, Betrayal, Nico, Sulfite. I don't know. Delph, yeah, Delph. Nico, Elva, and Elva, Incursion, and Bestiary. Best boy, Einhard. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just now I was talking about like Crimson Temple Jail. Can we look at the ambush scarabs? below the ambush scarabs. Yeah, so basically, I think if you do the whole scarabs game correctly, I think you can play Crimson Temple or Default Cathedral Farm more exciting this league. Together with the cartography scarabs, just right above, there was one that actually give you the maps that is being dropped are all corrupted with eight mods. So if you are playing like shadow sweeping, singular focus. If you are playing on Crimson Temple, every map that you drop is gonna be 8 modifiers Crimson Temple. So it's a very good way to prepare your juice maps. Yeah. So any more things that you all want to add for scarabs? Like we had our wow moments already.
Well, not about scarabs, but I think since it's somewhat related, masters can now, there can be more than one master mission on the map now, and I think that might change some things. Yeah.
Okay, one of the most direct way I can see to abuse this is for everybody to go and take the Nico node, the one that actually gives you 35% increased damage, 35% movement speed or something once you activate one sulfite. So the moment you pick up all 3 sulfite, you basically have like 3 to 5 max stress or something, a lot of increased damage and movement speed.
I must admit, I already took that note every league. The problem is, it doesn't affect minions. I think.
I mean, it's fine lah because I don't play minions, but
I hate you so much.
it's a good way to play. Like people think that the nerf to Rebella Cash is the boots is quite harsh, but I think it's fine. You can just play Delph, right? Just play Delph in normal maps. You'll get your movement speed back already.
Yeah. There wasn't harvest scarabs back then also. I know because I tried to. Yeah, there were sextants, but no scarabs. Yeah.
I mean, the fact that the highest tier of the harvest scarabs actually can guarantee a T4 is actually broken. I think this league is going to be a league where everybody's gonna have fun farming their own content. Definitely there will be some outliers where it's gonna be the best strategy to get money. But I believe that it's also one of the leagues where people can trade around to do the things that they like and they are not forced to do mechanics like farming a particular map, a particular content to get money. Yeah. So I think this league might actually be one of the more exciting one where people actually play long enough and the content that they like. Yeah, surprisingly there's no support for Sanctum, right? No map bosses will drop one tome or something.
I wonder why. Might be because Sanctum is quite strong, maybe.
Nah, yeah, it's fine. I got my Sanctum kick this league already, so it's fine. I think for the last point of the podcast, do anybody want to talk about the Atlas changes or what have you looked at that you really want to play with the Atlas?
I guess you pointed out that the increased percent chance to spawn a mechanic has been buffed, and most mechanics should have 100% eventually. So I think that's actually quite interesting because I used to have to spam rusted scarabs in order to secure a mechanic. And one thing that might be interesting is that you can replace rusted scarabs of expensive mechanics. Potentially that would be Delirium, Legion, and Harvest. Yeah, you could replace that with passive points instead, and then you can play the difference. You can just use rusted scarabs for something else.
I think there's a very interesting way to play next league. Like you can play the speed farming kind of meta, because maybe you can take a look at the tree, right? Yeah. So if you realize, right, the content blockers, which is the small nodes like that looks like a fan below. Yeah. These two sides, right? Yeah. So all these blockers used to only block content and give you chance for all the other content to be 2%. But now it also blocks the kind of scarabs that you can draw. So what you can do is, right, there are some scarabs that is totally trash. So you block them out. So you can be a purely scarab farmer. You can block all the bad scarabs and you only drop good scarabs that I think you have a decent chance to get scarabs. Like you can type scarabs there, and generally they will show you like highlight a few of the scarab trees. Like that one in particular, that one is all chance to find scarabs. There are some on top also, right? That one chance to find scarabs. So I believe there will be a strat next league where people are farming only scarabs. They don't even care about what kind of mechanic. They just farm scarabs and they sell. And for that to work, you can actually block out the shit scarabs based on the economy.
Okay, that's pretty forehead. I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Oh, right. I forgot that we are talking about starting strategies, but yeah, it's fine. I mean, like that is something that I kind of observe, that you can actually you just need to get your basic sustaining of the pool done, and you can actually be a real scarab farmer. Just farm all the scarabs, bulk sell them. You should have quite a, because technically what you are doing is basically you are bulk selling scarab is as good as bulk selling sextons. It's the same thing, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's just that now your sexton looks a bit weird.
No. There's one big difference. My brother was selling sextants last week. So you, instead of sitting in your hideout, holding the orb of alteration, or like pressing the sextant buttons, you are actually killing monsters, which makes 10 times more sense.
Then you don't feel bad about using a charge compass to capture your sexton, right? It feels a bit bad to always have to use chaos to take the good sexton out and then try to sell them, right? Now you actually go into map blast, maybe 10 hours of content, come out, bulk sell your scarabs, then you sleep, then you continue the next day, right?
Yeah, as long as they keep patching out methods of making money through not killing monsters. Seriously, I play PoE to like kill monsters, bro.
Yeah. I mean, like it's a good removal, right? I haven't really read about how what did they do to elevated sextons, the one that Maven drops, the one that has 16 charges. I don't know if they changed anything to that, but I don't really use that item, so I don't really care also. And for the Atlas tree, I think that the removal of Wandering Path is a good thing, because it seems like everybody's going Wandering Path to get the Atlas done. You know, that one is convenient, and GG don't like players to have convenience in general. So but the endgame strategy was very much binary. It's either Wandering Path or you got a very specific strategy. So maybe they want to vary a bit of our play style. So I think that's cool. I particularly like how they shift stream of consciousness from a accessible area all the way to the top. Don't even make sense, but it gives you 20 skill points to play around with. But you cannot get scarabs while you have the keystone in. So it's probably a early league kind of thing. But once you get your 4 void stones, I think it's time to take that out. I think this league is going to be a lot of self farming your own scarabs, play, and enjoy the game. Oh, and I also want to touch that affliction is not really voided. It came back as a keystone, but the whips can only affect the last 50 monsters on the map. Yeah. Yeah, I'm showing bias the new keystone where affliction is back. Yeah, if you have 50, so all your monsters, the final map boss are empowered by Wildwood Whips, which is the mechanic that we have in this league.
Yeah, but that means that you will kill the map boss. When's the last time people killed map bosses? I'm speaking the truth, bro.
Bro. No. The thing is, I've been killing map bosses because of destructive play. So this one is actually a good change. But it will make the map boss so much tankier, which I think is fine. Oh, I want to highlight one change that people might have forgotten because people don't do ritual. Right? Ritual now has omens. So omens are kind of bad in ritual. Yeah.
I mean, what omen do you want other than the experience one?
You can get the 6-link one. You can get the
Oh
6
yeah,
link, you can get the 6 sockets, you can get the chancing one. Yeah, those are the big ones.
Wait. So are they nerfed like tattoos? Or are they omens?
Full power. In fact, this league you can get the same thing also, but they come from the box. The box, yeah. You have to go down into the WoW to open the box. Yeah. And I believe that the omens, right, it's actually quite a big game changer if you use, because they change how white sockets made for 4EC. Yeah. Then now the only way to get white sockets is actually through either double corruption or you use the omen of blanching. Yeah. Okay, so anything more that you guys want to add? Nothing? Then I think we can close up this particular episode of the podcast. Okay, thank you, Joseph and Bias Opinion, and I'm Big L. We are signing out for this podcast. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.